What is physical world? The primary aim of this video series is to get a satisfactory answer to the age-old question, what is the origin of the universe? In other words, we want to know the original cause of the universe. The word reality is treated as the synonym of original cause. In the bygone centuries, the weighty question about reality has been addressed differently in science and religion, but without any success. In the area of religious belief, the reality or original cause is God, with various shades of interpretations. We would postpone this topic to a later occasion. At present, our focus is on the proposals of scientists with regard to the origin and development of our universe. As per this view, we can address the question about the origin of the universe only if we analyze the fundamental components of the universe and their relationships. The logic behind this point is illustrated by considering a car. For example, the components of car must have been in existence before assembling the car. Hence, we are led to examine the origin of components in order to understand about the origin of car itself. Hence, for deliberating about the fundamental components of the universe, it is necessary to define a few basic concepts, namely universe, nature, matter and energy, physical world and evolution. What is universe? We use the word thing to refer to anything which is assumed to have existence. Then universe is the totality of all things which can be defined in any way. It is important to state here that the so-called things can be divided into two classes, visible things and invisible things. We have 5 sense organs, namely eye, ear, tongue, nose and skin. The class of visible things consists of all things which appear to exist on the basis of sensory evidences of human beings, including mechanical devices and reflective thinking also. Proton, electron, water, air and so on belong to the class of visible things. All life related and mental activities such as the emotions, ideas, dream and colors can be treated as visible, since it is known through our sensory evidences or reflective thinking. When we think about the class of invisible things, firstly we consider the supernatural things or events like God, souls, angel, heaven and hell. Though life related as well as mental activities or events are visible as said above, there is no evidence about the existence of life and mind as such. So, life and mind are invisible things. What is nature? In simple terms, nature is the universe minus supernatural entities. That is, the nature, that is natural world, does not include the supernatural entities like God, souls and angels. The first classification of things included in the natural world is into inanimate things and living beings. If we consider only the body of a living being without taking into account aspect of life, then it is also an inanimate thing made of matter. Matter and energy. The inanimate things around us can be divided into two classes called concrete things and energy. Concrete things have 3 dimensions as well as static existence. In the case of concrete things, consider a pen for example. The sensible properties of a pen would fall into 2 groups. The first group is called primary properties, which are mainly the shape, length, breadth, height and weight. Mere summation of these sensible properties would not constitute the concrete thing called a pen. So, using the primary properties, we can logically construe that the 3-dimensional existence of pen is due to a concrete stuff or substratum specifically called as matter. Additionally, the pen has the second group of properties like smell and color, which are called as secondary properties because these are our feelings, so that it would not account for the pen aspect. In fact, every concrete thing is made of as a combination of primary properties and secondary properties. Here we can state an important point. We do not have any evidence about the existence of matter which is a substratum. Then how can we say that matter exists as a substratum? This issue resulted in vigorous debates among Western philosophers. One group of them held that matter is an existing substance. The opposite group advanced the arguments to treat matter as an abstract concept representing the primary properties which are visible. Anyway, considering the issue, we may treat matter to be a visible thing practically. As per the foregoing, air, oxygen, other gases, water, oil, stone, silver, and so on are examples of inanimate concrete things made of matter. Each of them has three dimensions of length, breadth, and height. It may be added that the smallest unit or particle of three-dimensional thing is atom. Accordingly, atoms are similar to the bricks which constitute the building material of a house. A more detailed exposition of the controversy about matter or atom is postponed to a later video. Next important concept is energy or force. It is normally defined as the ability to do work. A vehicle can be moved only if sufficient energy is applied on it. Energy is not a thing like air, water or table, but energy is a measurement of activity of a thing. There are different forms of energy like light rays, chemical energy, mechanical energy, etc., responsible for different kinds of motions or activities of things. What is physical world? If we hold that inanimate things are made of matter and energy, then the total of such things is the physical world. The term physical refers to matter and energy. In order to study and understand physical things, we have to make use of the measurable properties or quantitative properties of matter and energy, such as weight, mass, space, time, length, breadth, height, distance, force, and motion. Basic unit of three-dimensional physical world is atom. Accordingly, all inanimate things are treated as physical things. The body of a living being is also a physical thing when it is supposed to be made of matter and energy. The classification of things in the universe is now shown as a diagram. In the next video, we would explain the notion of biological world, three levels of natural world, and evolution. It would lead to the definition of the subject called science. Please subscribe to this YouTube video series. Thank you for watching.